I'm David.
And I'm Aislinn.
And this is Wheels in the Wilderness.
Wilderness adventures for the mobility impaired.
So today, we're going to head up to the Lincoln Woods trailhead to check out some of the trails up there and see how accessible they are. I know there's a really cool suspension bridge that I believe is normally accessible, but it's still early spring. And in the White Mountains, that means there's probably still some snow on the ground. So we may not be able to get anywhere, but at least we will get up there and get out away from the house, get out in the wilderness, and just be able to enjoy the beautiful spring day.
And have a picnic.
And have a picnic. We've got some food set aside, put in our little picnic basket, because, you know, Yogi always loves his picnic basket. And we're just going to have a good time and see what we can find up there. Right now we're still working with a manual push wheelchair, so it's motorized. That's the motor. So let's see how it goes.
There are several things that you should keep in mind when setting off on an adventure. First and foremost, you need to make sure that you have some kind of kit put together. In my kit, I have my yarn and knitting needles and an Afghan hook. I have my Kindle. I have my pain medication. I have my adventure hat, my purse, water, food, a way to make a fire, and the appropriate clothing for the weather. Right now I have a sweater, I have a couple of knit caps that I can, one for me and one for him. And we have our picnic lunch, of course, and water to drink. And I have my wheelchair.
I, of course, tend to go for the more utilitarian pack because, for me, everything that I carry when I go out hiking has to go on my back. So I'm not going to carry things like entertainment devices.
I make sure I have those so that if he goes off on the trail and I get left behind at, a picnic area, or if I have to stay in the car, that I have something that to keep me occupied, something to do while I wait for him. Oh, and we also have bird food.
Just in case the Gray Jays decide to grace us with their presence.
Absolutely.
That way she too can join the Disney Princess Club. Well, we're about a mile and a half from our exit, and the weather forecast for today was supposed to be partly cloudy, a little on the cool side, but no prediction of rain. But
it's 44 degrees and it's starting to rain.
It's just sprinkling. You can see the mountaintops ahead there are all up in the clouds. Hopefully these clouds will break. We will see.
Don't ever let something like a little rain stop you from having an adventure. When I was in high school, I can remember one Saturday, Mom and Dad woke us up and said, "Get up, we're going camping." Now, mind you, this was February. And so we drove down to Port Aransas, the Texas seacoast, And we went camping on the beach, and it was cold and wet, and we were the only people there. But out of all the times that I've gone camping, that one really sticks out in my memory. I can remember walking down the beach combing with Mom and Carol, and it was so cold. And then when we got back to the travel trailer, we opened the door, and the smell of fresh baked brownies hit us, because Dad had made some, and it was wonderful. Just a fantastic weekend. And yeah, it was cold and it was rainy, and we were the only people there, but what an adventure.
So here we are at the Lincoln Woods parking area. You can see there's still some snow on the ground, but most of the snow is gone. So let's check this out. So this is the trail that we want to go down. One of the things that we wanted to do was to show the difficulties for the mobility impaired. Not that the mobility impaired need to be shown their difficulties. They know it, but everybody else, they don't. Now, it's not a hugely steep hill, but you can see it's very compacted ice. So I don't know that I could push her up that hill. That's going to be a decision that we're going to have to make together.
So there's some debate over this trail on whether we can safely navigate it. I'm not a lightweight lady, and he thinks he can hold me while we go down on compacted ice.
It's actually compacted snow. A little better traction than actual ice.
But it scares me.
So my worry is not the trip down, but the trip up. And the way this path is set up, if we go down that hill and around and across the bridge, we can get back to the road where I could go get the van and go pick her back up. It's maybe a quarter mile total, so it's very short, but I think we can do it. But ultimately, the decision has to be hers. She's the one at risk, not me. Because I can always let go of the wheelchair and survive. Not that I would.
I'm just concerned about sliding down the hill and off the trail.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give this a shot. We're just going to go to where the ice first starts and see how it feels. If there's any slipping at all, then we're going to try and turn around. I'm just not sure how easy it will be to get back up the hill. So we will see. Now, so you can see
I have
so
no
she
traction.
just does not feel safe on this, so we are going to back off. We made the attempt. She didn't feel safe, so we turned back. We saw another trail further back up that appeared to be completely paved and ice-free, so we're going to try that one. Unfortunately, that means that she didn't get to go across the bridge. There's a little bit of a disagreement that we had there. I felt like we could safely navigate down that hill, and then once we were down, we could go across the bridge and I could meet her at the other side of the bridge with the van.
I couldn't even stand up on that ice. And there was a steep drop off on both sides and a turn at the end of the hill, and I just did not feel safe.
So in the end, her opinion trumps. She was willing to at least make the initial attempt, but if she doesn't feel safe, we're not doing it. Because ultimately, she's the one that has to feel comfortable with what we're attempting to do.
And I'm the one who'll get the injuries if we fail in the attempt.
Not necessarily. Of course, you suffer if I get injured, because that means I'm not there to help you. So we're going to go to the other trail, and so we're still going to get a little bit of the wheels in the wilderness, but unfortunately we didn't get to do what we had hoped to do. But we can definitely come back here after the ice and snow are all gone and try that again.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful area, and I really look forward to exploring it better. Of course, it'll be nice when it's in the 70s and not 44 degrees.
True. All right, more to follow. So one of the other important lessons learned is always have a backup plan. You know, if you're trying to do something and maybe it's a little too ambitious, have a fallback plan for something else you can do if it's not working out. Because you just have to decide, you know, you want to do things, but you don't have to do that thing. Don't have your heart so set on something that you're willing to take unnecessary risks. Because every time you do something, there's a risk decision to be made. So we are at the Loon Mountain parking lot now. We're going to try a different trail. Conditions on this trail look a lot better, as you can see, but it's not out in the woods as much. And we can't see too far down, so we don't know how far we'll get. It does run right along next to the Pemi, which is pretty cool. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so now we're going to give this a try. Let's see how this works.